This is TWiT.
Being in the print industry, we get hundreds of jobs coming through, and you have to review each one and figure out what's going on with it. Is the file set up correctly and those kind of things. And I was always looking for ways to automate that process. So I got into, working with Quark extension developers, and that helped automate it some. But then in 1993, I saw an ad in the Apple developer brochure about this amazing English-like language that could control the action of the computers and the apps that are on it. So I sent in the money, and I paid an extra $15 for a scriptable finder, which came on like a 400K floppy, right?
Was this from Apple or a third party?
Apple. This was from Apple. And so I got the Apple script disk, and at that time, the app that was really powerful that was scriptable was Quark Express,
which was used for page layout.
Yes.
It took over from PageMaker.
Yeah,
all this PageMaker was the dominant program, but right about that time, Quark kind of took over.
Dave Shaver and Ralph Risch had implemented Apple event scripting, AppleScript, in Quark Express with Tim Gill's help.
Right.
And so I remember it was in the evening, it was after the day, and I was sitting there alone at night, and I'm going through this trying to figure out what this is all about. And it says, okay, there's a dictionary, and this should be called a box, and then, okay, it has properties, all right? So I write my first script. So I selected a box.
And you've not been a programmer in the past.
No, no programming at all.
Yeah.
No programming at all. And I drew out a box, and my first script that I ever wrote was set the color of the current box to blue.
You remember it?
I remember it. It's infused in my brain, and I ran that, and that box changed.
Boing!
And
that
I
really,
changed.
yeah. Yes.
At that point, I let go all my clients. I had a business doing, desktop publishing, design business.
Right.
And I let go all my clients, and I just focused on learning everything I could possibly learn about AppleScript for like months.
Was that just because you loved it, or did you see you see how it could be used? What was it that got you?
It hit a profound concept within me. It opened up a profound concept that has stayed with me my entire professional life, which is that the power of the computer should reside in the hands of the one using it. I don't have to go to a developer and say, please, can you make this so that this does this? Or can you alter your application so that I can do this? It put all that power in my hands. And for me, that was an awakening. And after that, I started developing automation around the print industry because I was in it. And I expanded out into other industries too, like media production and video production, to automate them. And Apple noticed me because I was writing books on the topic, and I'd be at the same trade shows as them. And my audience would be the Apple employees standing there watching this.
Because they probably didn't know all the things you could do with this stuff.
There was maybe a handful of guys that knew it was in the system, but they would stand there, and eventually they started asking me, would I join? And I said, well, why should I join? I'd take a 50% pay cut to work for you. I don't want to do that. And then over a period of time, about a year, it was a group effort by Shafaa Syed, Baman Dara, and Guy Kawasaki, and a couple other people, and Chris Espinosa. They got me on board at Apple, and I joined at like the worst time.
Steve had left.
Yeah, I joined in January of '97. So Apple had the word beleaguered tattooed to them.
This is the beleaguered years.
And if you look at where I was hired in January. And at one point, Apple put out these boards on campus that all the employees could see. They had a list of every Apple employee and when in order of their hiring. And so there was like 13 boards around campus, and everybody was walking around looking for their name, right? And I was over here like on board number 2. And if you look after my name, then it's like Craig Fegheriti and,
the new
Avi
crew.
And all the next guys came in. Yeah, so I was like the last hire, one of the last hires.
Under Gil Amelio.
Before everything opened up.
Yeah, yeah.
And So automation to me came from a very personal basis. I was always looking at automation from the aspect of getting stuff done in the real world. And that knowledge about what customers needed and how it gets used in the end was essential to my role at Apple when I came on board to protect this technology. Because at that time, AppleScript was not part of the operating system.